For nearly 2 decades, winning the Super Bowl followed a familiar pattern. Players celebrated with cigars, champagne, and parades. Then, they visited the White House. However, Donald Trump's election in 2016 changed that final step. With his return to office, the newly crowned Philadelphia Eagles must decide whether to make the trip. "I'd be honored to go, regardless of who the president is, but we'll see," said Eagles lineman Lane Johnson. "It's ultimately a team decision." Visiting the White House was once routine. Between 2001 and 2016, only one Super Bowl winning team skipped it. However, during Trump's first term, only 1 out of 4 teams visited. His clashes with the NFL, particularly over player protests during the national anthem, led to cancellations and boycotts. In 2018, he rescinded the Eagles' invitation after learning that only a few players had planned to attend. Instead, the White House held an impromptu event described as a celebration of America. Eagles officials have not commented on whether they will accept an invitation this time. Owner Jeffrey Lurie avoided answering the question last week. Decisions on such visits often take weeks, but the issue remains in the spotlight with Trump present at the Super Bowl. The stakes surrounding a White House visit have evolved. Historian Frank Uridy recalled when a progressive athlete, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, visited conservative President Ronald Reagan in 1985. "That's not the climate we're in now," Uridy said. "Today, whatever you do, it's seen as a political statement." Traditionally, White House visits were seen as apolitical, with only a few athletes opting out over personal beliefs. However, during Trump's presidency, attendance was divided along sports and gender lines. Several women's championship teams were not invited, while NBA teams, whose players are predominantly black, either declined or were excluded. Last week, the NHL's Florida Panthers became the first team to visit since Trump's return. Political scientist Tom Kinect believes Trump has uniquely leveraged sports to his advantage. "Most presidents use sports to unify the nation," Kinect said. "Trump uses them as a cultural wedge." His research shows that while past presidents highlighted sports as symbols of national ideals, Trump has used them to advance political agendas, such as last week's executive order banning transgender athletes from women's sports. Kinect sees continued scrutiny over athletes' interactions with Trump. "It's a double-edged sword," he said. "You rarely get to visit the White House, but you also have personal values to consider." Uridy believes this shift isn't temporary. "This is not a blip," he said. "The political climate will shape White House visits for years."